This is CES MMA.
All right, welcome back to Twin River Casino here in Lincoln, Rhode Island for the main event of New Blood presented by Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports. And right now it's Chris "Cappy" Wo0dall making his way to the cage. A veteran in this game, 38 years old, as he steps in tonight to face Doomsday How0ard, fighting out of Team Wildcard in Cumming, Georgia. Now, Cappy Wo0dall's record, debated depending on where you consider the fights legitimate and what the online records tell you. He's listed as 12-3 with 5 knockouts, and according to most record books, hasn't fought since 2006, but that's not true. He hasn't fought on U.S. soil since 2006. He's actually spent the last 6 or 7 years fighting overseas, fighting in Ukraine, Latvia, against some real, as what he calls the tough Russian competitors, who he says are among the best athletes he's ever seen. It's a real interesting story, but he's won all 5 of those fights within that time frame. So in reality, a 17-3 record as he comes in to face Doomsday How0ard. And here's a guy, when you talk about someone who's seen it all and been everywhere, this definitely fits the billing. On top of that, 13 years ago, Chris Wo0dall competed in a 2-day pancration tournament, which is real old school mixed martial arts. Scott Ream will be able to fill us in more on that. He won in his weight class. It was 6 wins in 2 days. That's where the bulk of his wins came from. So he's kind of faced a little bit of everything, whether it's duration, endurance. He's fought long fights, he's short fights. He's done a little bit of everything. And right now, his opponent about to make his way to the cage. And most people will recognize the name Joh0n Doomsday How0ard, 5'7", 184 pounds from Boston, Mass, fighting out of Y Crew. And again, it's one of those fights possibly on the precipice of something big. Since the UFC released him, Doomsday has won his last 5 fights, including the last 4 by knockout, many of them here at this same venue at Twin River Casino. Last time out in April, Doomsday knocked out Jason Luck in just 23 seconds. He caught him early against the cage and finished the job. And that was one of the more emphatic wins. He's also defeated Tosh Patel, Brett O'Terry, among others. He's had some big wins on his resume since coming back from that release from the UFC. He makes no mistake about it. He wants to get back there, but ultimately just trying to have fun and trying to enjoy it. If it happens, it happens. That was exactly what he said regarding the Ultimate Fighting Championships, which of course are coming to Boston in August. Now, this is somewhat of a battle of new school, old school, and Chris Wo0dall says he's not ashamed to call himself an old school fighter. When he first started, Scott, there weren't as many rules. You could do a lot of things that you can't do
Listen,
today.
he's a kid, all right? That's all I'm going to tell you. He's a young kid. What's he, 39?
38 years old.
He's just starting out in this business.
That's what Scott would call a kid, and right now Doomsday making his way inside the cage. All right, here we go. Take a look at the tail of the tape in this middleweight main event. Joh0n How0ard, Doomsday coming in at 19-7 with 8 knockouts. Has won his last 5 fights, fighting out of Y Crew in Boston. And his opponent, Chris "Cappy" Wo0dall, 12-3 with 5 knockouts, fighting out of Team Wildcard in Georgia. Let's send it down back to Bill Carpenter for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports, in association with Twin River Casino and Pinnacle Vodka, presents tonight's Classic main event. Tonight's main event is sanctioned by the Rhode Island Department of Business Regulation, Division of Commercial Licensing, Racing, and Athletics. Paul McGreevy, Director, Maria D'Alessandro, Deputy Director, and Christina Tobias, Chief Licensing Examiner, Racing and Athletics. We have 3 judges scoring tonight's main event. They are Brian Miner, Wayne Lima, and Sean Flanagan. Once the bell sounds, the man in charge of all the action in the cage is your referee, Kevin McDonald. And now, it is time for another classic main event. 3 5-minute rounds of mixed martial arts cage fighting in the middleweight division. This is the Pinnacle Vodka main event. And now, introducing the principals. First, fighting out of the blue corner, He's wearing the solid black trunks. He weighed in for this main event at 182 pounds. His professional record shows 12 wins with just 3 losses. Representing Team Wildcard, he comes to us tonight from Cumming, Georgia. Please welcome Chris Cappy Wo0dall. Across the cage to my right, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing the black trunks with red. He tipped the scales at 184 pounds. Tonight, he steps into the cage with 19 professional wins, only 7 losses, representing Intense MMA, Y Crew, Maximum Training and Fitness, and Boston University MMA. This 7-time UFC veteran is fighting out of Dorchester, Massachusetts. Introducing Joh0n Doomsday How0ard. Our main event, 3 5-minute rounds, middleweights.
A lot riding on this fight for both sides. Interestingly enough, Scott, this will be Cappy Wo0dall's first fight without his mother, who passed away April 8th from multiple myeloma. He will be donating proceeds of his purse to the American Cancer Society. So a lot on his mind. This will be an emotional night for him.
Great rear leg kick by Dooms there after being felt out by Cappy. Another rear leg from Dooms. You're going to see a lot of those tonight, guys.
And of course, Doomsday with that 5-fight win streak on the line.
Yep.
And the possibility of bigger and better things down the horizon.
Joh0n goes in for a big left hook and a takedown, big takedown there.
Great start for Doomsday. 2 big rear leg kicks, big takedown early.
What you're going to look for Joh0n to do right here is to control that leg, there you go, and work his head out from that attempted guillotine.
Gotta watch for that guillotine. It's not too bad.
Cappy won't be able to land it from that position, from Joh0n being on that side. So John's going to go with a crossface. He's going to bring his arm over the top and pull his head out in that manner. He should bring that right arm across the front of Cappy's face.
Doomsday not taking this fight lightly, Scott, despite...
He doesn't take any fights lightly. You know, he wants back to the big show. He knows that he loves fighting here at CES. He wants to put on a good show always, but he's got a new fire. He's got a burn inside right now, and he wants to definitely let it be known.
He said the last time he fought an older fighter, you may know this guy, Scott Ream. He said he left me glassy-eyed. He's the only guy that's done that to me. So he knows better than to take anybody lightly.
I'm very grateful for Joh0n. He's a very humble guy for saying those things, and we train together now. It's my pleasure to train him a couple days a week and work with him, and he's just a class act. That being said, Cappy, believe it or not, he's fought in some really strange places. Fought down in Brazil. He's fought in the eastern part of Europe. Here's Joh0n standing in the guard, throwing punches. Now it looks like he's peppering up. Cappy doing a good job of breaking his posture, breaking Joh0n's posture to stop those big punches from coming.
He also, Scott, fought in a 2-day pancreation tournament back in 2000.
Yeah.
Cappy Wo0dall, and he won it. 6 wins in 2 days, no slouch.
No, not at all. Joh0n really looks like he's laying it to him now. You know, Cappy's trying to turn inside, but John's posting and punching. He's all done. He's done.
It's over.
That's the end of it.
Just as we speak, Joh0n Doomsday How0ard finishes off Cappy Wo0dall, a series of unanswered blows, and that's all she wrote. And a great sign of respect in the center of the cage. Both fighters bowing, exchanging a nice hug on the way out. A great effort for Cappy Wo0dall. For a moment there, might have had the guillotine, not able to get it in that position. Doomsday How0ard, once he established mount, rained down with those right hands and finished the fight for good. Another knockout. That's now 5 consecutive knockouts for Doomsday How0ard, 6 consecutive wins overall, and who knows where he ends up next. So another big victory here in the main event for Joh0n Doomsday How0ard. 2nd consecutive fight, finishing off his opponent in the opening round. Let's take a look again how it all went down. We're going to see the replay. There you see the left hands sneaking in, but really at the end it's these overhand rights. Rather, no, it is the lefts. It was a series of 9 or 10 unanswered, and those last 4 or 5 sneaking in, Cappy Wo0dall unable to defend himself and not answering, and that's usually the sign to pull the plug and stop that fight. And so that will do it. Doomsday How0ard now improving to 20-7 with a 9th knockout of his career. Cappy Wo0dall drops to 12-4. Let's send it down to Bill Carpenter for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 2 minutes, 14 seconds of the first round. Referee Kevin McDonald stops the bout due to excessive unanswered strikes. Your winner by TKO, Joh0n Doomsday How0ard.
John, if I could steal you for a moment, please. I'm gonna take a picture with you guys. All right, my real quick question. Did the fight go according to plan as far as you were concerned?
Actually, he did. Chris, guys, he's a veteran, give it up. Anybody who's a vet and served by government, he deserves a round of applause. So,
Now, ladies and gentlemen, whether you know it or not, Cappy here is a U.S. veteran, and I'd like a round of applause for that as well. So how did the fight go, John?
That's the plan. He's a pretty good striker. I didn't want to stand with him. I am pretty striker, but he was kind of weak on the ground a little bit. So the plan was to take him to the ground and expose him, and it worked. It was a perfect executed plan. Thank you, crew Joh0n.
It sounds to me like things are going exactly how you want. What are we looking for next from Doomsday?
I won't put it out there. I don't care. I might piss some people off, but I do want to fight for the UFC. I won't put it out there. I'm saying it on national TV. I'm saying it in front of CES cameras. I'll fight for free on UFC Boston card.
Well, you heard that, Dana White. Doomsday's willing to fight for free in August. In the meantime, we hope to keep you here until they call. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a stunning TKO performance.
Thank you, Pro Athlete. Thank you, Y Crew, #1 school in Mass. College Netto, BJJ, thank you. I knew we were coming back. The Team Intense and Team Pitbull, thank you.
Doomsday How0ard, ladies and gentlemen.